Hello everyone, welcome to my Riverside Tournament Rookie Walkthrough video. My name is Matthew and I'll be your host to guide you through the shots. This is basically a guide to get you started, to give you a place to begin taking your notes, but definitely not, necessarily the final representation of how we're going to play everything here in the tournament. Basically, I encourage you all to play these holes according to your clubs, your balls. Here at Erelic Gaming, we do not tell other players how to handle their balls. So, do as you choose. The footage, you're going to see some shots here are absolutely from older tournaments. Some of these holes have not been available in lower level tours for quite some time. And just I want you to also remember that the wind we're going to see in this video is not necessarily the same wind we will see in the tournament. So check it out, get an idea how things are going to go. Good luck. Welcome to hole number 1, which is a par 4 from the Sunshine Glades course. I like to play here with a Titan ball and an extra mile for a 20% downhill rough bump. Setting up at the +4 yard mark, you're going to have the top right corner of your yellow ring touching the fairway. Now you'll see in this example that I use only 2 bars of topspin. I'm going to recommend for you to use 2.5 bars of topspin and maximum right spin with this same setup. Now I do push up about a half a ring here just because we're adjusting from a higher to a lower position. Otherwise, you should end up basically at the very worst in a wedge range. I like to use the end bringer, the 20% rule. Otherwise, whatever works for you. This little putt or maybe a drop, that'll work out too. Good luck. Here we are playing the simple method on hole number 2 with a power 0 ball. I would recommend at least a marlin here to give you a little bit of left spin. Try a quasar if you're feeling extra feisty. You pick your favorite log iron with a good accuracy, such as a backbone. I'm going to use 1 bar of topspin, and I'll recommend to you, if your ball allows it, 2 bars of left spin, just so we can set up with that left ring touching the rough instead of the yellow, for a little bit of an added safety cushion. Otherwise, you're going to line up here, very straightforward shot, and we're looking just to bounce from that first fairway over the rough, up onto the green for a very makeable hole-in-one, but not necessarily my favorite method, and I'm going to show you my favorite method next. Okay, so here we are back on hole number 2. I like to set up here, I think with a navigator should probably be just fine, but it's really going to depend in the tournament what the wind is, how we're going to choose that ball. It may be as low as power 0, or you might bring a keg maker here for the extra wind resist. It's up to you. I do have a Goliath, because we want to have like at least 4.5 bars of topspin, and you're going to adjust here at 10% maximum distance, and I have the top right edge of that yellow ring just touching the fairway. I understand rough bumps aren't for everyone, and that's why I showed you that nice bounce over. However, honestly, this is how I'm going to play it, and I do think it's the best chance for a hole-in-one. I'm going to go ahead and say that hole number 3 is, I think, my least favorite hole of the tournament. In rookie, for the most part, I'm really going to just try to get the safe eagle. However, you can get to the green in 2 with a little bit of love and a little bit of luck. Bring a Titan, extra mile, 10% downhill, max top, max left. And you want to have the top left edge of that yellow just cutting the left rough. We're going to give it a little bit of curl, probably about a ball of curl, maybe just a hair of overpower. And if you're lucky, you should be able to either clear that rough or just come a little to the left of it. I'd like to see another, good number of yards here to have an easier second shot. Now, I do wish I had a big dog to show you, but if you don't and you're not comfortable to push it, you're going to lay up here. 10% Viper, Sniper, any kind of wood is going to be just fine. Use enough topspin and right spin just to bring yourself safely to the top of this fairway. Now, if you had a big dog here, I would still play it at 10%, but I would use topspin to kind of guide the ball, guide through the little gap between the bunkers. I tend to go to the left of the center bunker, but you probably could play it to the right as well. Nonetheless, if you are left here, now, as you can see, it's a miracle that stayed in the fairway, but whatever, it's fairway. If you find yourself down here playing this wedge shot, I played this one here at negative 10%. That's uphill, max distance thorn. I did give it max backspin here just to kind of, play it safe because there's not a lot of room to work with. It's difficult when you don't have the ball guide, and that's why we really want to try to go for green. So if you can afford it, bring that power 3 here, bring the extra mile, and try your best to get to the green in 2. I get, though, that that's not going to be an option for everyone, so if you need to, negative 10%, even a low-level thorn, you can make this shot. I believe in you. So hole number 4, I love this par 3. I think it's really an excellent chance for us to get a drop. If we have any kind of tailwind here, you want to make sure to bring a power 0 ball. Otherwise, I'd recommend, I think, a navigator here would be nice. Try your sniper, and I'm adjusting here at 10% minimum. If you don't have a sniper, Viper should do just fine. I give it here 2 bars of topspin and about a half a bar of the new left spin. And I'm making sure I like to have the top of my red ring touching the fringe here. You can play top of the yellow. I've just always gone top of the red ring, and you'll see here in a second why. This is one of those holes that can be a little bit finicky, so pay attention to your wind angles. Try to make a really nice consistent pull angle, and you should have some luck. All right, so here we are on hole number 5. This is a par 4 that really benefits from having higher level clubs. If you've got a driver with 7 bars of topspin or more and a lot of curl, and you want to give it some power and try to curl it up and across that water to that last fairway, it'll give you a great chance for an eagle, but a bit of an advanced move for most rookies. I'm laying up here, Quasar Sniper, 10%, a couple bars of backspin, just nice and close to the water's edge without going too far. Second shot, I find myself usually here in a max long iron range. I think the backbone is a decent club for most rookies. Of course, if you had that Quasar ball, a little bit of right spin here, like max right spin, would be awesome. If you're in the long iron range, probably going to use a couple bars of top spin on this shot. If you do find yourself with a wood club, likely to use a couple bars of backspin. This is 10% elevation if I didn't say it. This is a tough hole in rookie. Now, there is, I think, a rough bump on the right side of this hole as well. We're going to hopefully investigate that. But all in all, until we get a chance to see the tournament wins, I'm looking for an eagle on hole number 5. Welcome to hole number 6. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to play here. The first being with a Titan ball. I give it maximum topspin and 1 bar of right spin. You could go a little more right spin if you'd like. Then I'm setting up here with the right edge of the yellow ring, just slightly cutting into the rough. Now you can see I was stretching out to max. What I'm trying to see is where I want my final landing position to be. I see that I need about 5 bars of rings to push up. So I'm pushing it up about 1. And now I'm adding about 4 more rings of overpower just to try to get this thing to land close to, but not in the river. Up and off she goes. Ultimately then, this drive is a little bit shorter than you'd want to see. So you're going to leave yourself in a long, like a fairway wood range. I prefer the sniper, obviously, but if you have a Viper, by all means, this is the time to use it. Line it up here. Now, I wish I'd used a couple bars of left spin, and the reason why is I think that setting up with the left ring, left edge of the yellow ring, touching the rough is a little bit unnecessarily risky. I would recommend the left edge of the red ring touching the rough. Add, a couple bars of top spin, and then a couple of bars of left spin, just to compensate, to get your ball guide to the hole. Carefully here with this kind of wind, I'd say we're going to try to go a little bit more 1201 on our pull angle. Nonetheless, not a bad way to play here. I think if you go Titan and wood, if you've got a higher level sniper like 7+, you're going to have a really good ball guide. This isn't a bad option at all. Now, if you're like me, and sometimes, at least once per tournament, you like to try to make a hole easier by choosing a better ball, this is the one. So right back at it for hole number 6. This is the difference using a Zerk versus a Titan. You see how we can set it up with the red ring touching the right rough, and we're bouncing easily over to the second fairway without needing any complication of overpower. This is the kind of situation where I feel it is very warranted to use a better ball to set yourself up for a more consistent and repeatable shot. It's going to give you a more repeatable fairway yardage as well. Max top, max right edge of that red ring, touching the rough, and make sure to adjust, and I like to push up just about 1 ring here. carefully. Try to hit perfect, of course. I have to add that at least once in this walkthrough. 379. Good drive yardage, and you'll see why. Second shot then. We're left in a sort of between situation. There you can see we've got that sniper close. So I could use max backspin on a sniper. I prefer to be in max Goliath range here. I am setting up a little close to the rough once again. You could definitely give it a little bit of backspin, but a little bit of left spin instead. 10% I played here. I know this is often done at 0, but as you can tell, I did go 10%. Left edge, touching that rough if you must. Otherwise, I would say to play it just a little ways away. Make sure when you play this shot, you're going to hit perfect, okay? Just like that. Get in the hole. Boom, baby. Come on. All right, we'll go on to hole number 7. Hole 7 is it's a fun little par 3. If you have any kind of tailwind, once again, you're going to make sure to use a power 0 ball. I like to go at least Marlin here if I can. Now give it 1.5 bars of topspin and adjust this shot at 20% minimum distance. And that minimum is why you want to be sure to use the power 0 ball. If we've got a strong crosswind or headwind, by all means, I might go Navigator or even a Kingmaker if I'm feeling spicy to cut down that wind and make this shot as makeable as possible. Here on this one, I did have the top of the yellow, cutting the top rough. And you want to make sure you have your second bounce on the green. It's a long green, so 1 bar of topspin here wasn't just not quite enough. Go 1.5, even 1.25. We'll get this one in the hole. So hole number 8. I love this hole. Ultimately, you need to get an eagle here. If the wind is blowing, left to right, I'm probably going to play left side because what that's going to do is set me up with a nice tailwind on the second shot. If we've got right to left wind, I'm going to play then here on the right side. Both sides play very similarly. I'll use a Titan, extra mile, not necessarily a Titan, but I have a lot of them in my inventory, so that's what I'll use. You might want to bring just a Navigator or a Marlin. That'll be just fine. 10% max here on the drive on both sides. Going to go 4 bars of topspin. Now on the left, I would go a couple bars of right spin, but on the right side here, it doesn't really matter. Just get it up into that fairway. Second shot on both sides, you're going to be playing with a thorn. Check your slider distance. Here I'm in roughly 50% or 75%. I played this one at mid, 0% on the slider, on the elevation, and a couple bars of backspin. It's sort of my routine thorn play. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to set it up with a thorn, couple bars of backspin. Ultimately, this hole is fun like that because you can pick which way you go. I always go to give myself the best wind on the second shot. So I don't love this idea of crosswind if it's avoidable at all. Ultimately, though, this is the hole. This is the one that's kind of a must make, so let's make it happen. Just like that, we find ourselves on the last hole of the tournament. Once again, another excellent albatross opportunity here. Bring a katana ball, tends to be more than enough. Going to play with this drive with a quarterback at 10% max. I like to have the top of my red ring touching the rough, sort of the top right of that red ring. Don't go too far down the hill because you get a funny bounce and this thing will end up in the rough. So stay up on the top of this ridge here, right? Excuse me, max topspin, max right spin, and maybe a little bit of right curl. Absolutely keeps you safe from that left fairway bunker. However, we have no problem with that here, and you should be fine to play it accordingly. Now, for the second shot here, with this example, I'm going to go 0% elevation, and because we didn't reach very far on the drive, you're going to see now that I have to play sort of a more conservative approach. I give it about, 2 bars of backspin, and a little bit of left spin just to get it to the hole. However, this is not my preferred method for the second shot. Absolutely doable, and you can bounce over this rough that we're right beside as well. You can play it further back at min or mid and bounce it up over this rough. However, I'm going to show you one more shot, so stick around, and we're going to show you how to really play hole number 9. Okay, so finally here on our last example, hole number 9, I'm starting off very much the same. Max top, max right, Katana ball with a quarterback and 10% max. I do still have the top right edge of my red ring touching that rough or just kind of dipping down the hill. And on this drive, I give it just a little bit of baby right curl. Now, you'll notice the wind here is going to give me a little bit more of a push. It's an argument that if you don't quite reach because of the wind in the tournament, we could definitely bring a power 3 ball here to make the second shot work the way we want it to. And you're going to see that right after this ball settles nicely close to that left fairway bunker. Be aware of it. Some players are going to be in it. Don't be one of them. And that was a 10% adjustment. So for this second shot, I played this with 0%. Now, as you can see, we can reach up to put ourselves beautifully in a rough bump situation. I'm going to give it about 1.8 bars of topspin, maximum right spin, and 0% elevation. Now, use your slider, but we're at max enough for my books in this example. The only thing is there's one tweak that must be just a little bit off on this one because we did hit great on the shot. Bit of a spoiler. However, I think this is a very valuable example to show what can absolutely be achieved with a good drive. I wish you guys the very, very best of luck here in the Riverside tournament. I'm looking forward to it. I think this is a great course setup. All the very best of luck to you. Thank you so much for tuning into my rookie walkthrough for the Riverside tournament. I hope you enjoyed the video and gained a few insights into this tournament. If you have any comments, feedback, concerns, anything you want to let me know, leave it in the comments section down below. It's absolutely my pleasure to share this video with you. And if you have not subscribed yet to Erelic Gaming, please do so now. Hit that thumbs up button, and I look forward to seeing you out on the course in the Riverside tournament. Good luck.